Okay, so we were looking at how the writer makes this moment in the play so tense, right? So you have written down some interesting points. Okay, come up to slide 4 if you are still on slide 5. I can see one of you on slide 4. Okay, another thing that you have pointed out is to the pleasure of marrying a charming young man. So the father says, you certainly ought to be cheerful because you're getting.
But then we're wondering now what's going to happen. How is she going to break this news? Right? Because you know the news. How is she going to tell him? So let's go to the next slide, slide number 5. And here we have a very tense moment because she tells the father, I've broken off my engagement.
You have done quite a good job, but I just want to show you. Normally, when a writer uses, when a writer tries to create tension, he or she does this in a few ways. Come to slide 6. Another thing that writers do is to add a sudden twist, right? Or there is a slow revelation. That means now here what I see is there is a twist. I never expected Catherine to say that she had broken up with Maurice. I was wondering what she was going to do. So that twist in the plot where she says, she doesn't tell the father Maurice broke up with me, right? She says, I broke up with Maurice. That is a sudden twist that creates a bit of tension and makes the father also react in a very unusual, or he reacts in a very puzzled way, right? Another way in which we have tension created is through the words and the actions, right? Because they reveal the conflict between characters. For example, did you notice the way in which Catherine was always looking down? Her body language, the way she was behaving, created a bit of tension. It showed that she was nervous, right? I will go back to that slide in a bit and I will just point it out. So you can see that she's having she's putting a lot of energy into controlling her emotions. So that creates tension because we are wondering, oh my God, is she actually going to tell the father? Is she going to break down and cry? That creates tension, right? Also, the words and the actions spoken between characters creates tension. The way the father speaks to her, right? That also, reveals a feeling of, oh my goodness, like, how are they going to get out of this situation? What is she going to say back to him, right? That creates tension. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a few things that you all did not spot. Let's come to slide number 4. And let's have a look at this section. Come to slide number 4, everyone. I know you must be really tired after your exams and for today, but let's have a quick look, right? So for example, when you talk about, you can see that Catherine is very, upset, and she doesn't know how she's going to give the father the news, and she's controlling her feelings through this. Did you see this line? Catherine got up. She was suffocating, but she folded her work deliberately and correctly, bending her burning face upon it. Now, pick up on these sort of words. Look at that burning face. That describes the tension, the stress that she is under, right? So always pay attention. What is the character doing? What is the character feeling at this moment? So they are not going to say, Catherine felt really nervous. Look at how her body is reacting. Look at what she's saying or not saying, okay? Her father stood where she had planted himself. He had planted himself. She hoped he would go, but he smoothed and buttoned his gloves. Then he rested his hands upon his hips. So here where we get an idea of what's going through her mind also. She hoped he would go. So here we can see it's a moment of conflict because she wants the father to not bother her with these questions right now. Okay. So pay attention to the character's behavior, their words, and also what they don't say sometimes. So let's have a look at slide number 8. Oh, but before we do, right, let's come to slide number 7. Okay, let's come to slide number 7. Everyone, can you write down a main idea that you found? Right, something that shows, right, some way in which the writer creates tension, right, in that part of the story. Okay, so what do we notice? Is it something, the way in which the characters are behaving? Is it something that they say, something that they don't say, right? So for example, maybe one main idea you could say is that the writer creates tension by the way in which Catherine behaves in this situation, right? And see whether you can write one piece of evidence for me. So look back on your notes and write down one main idea. You can look at slide 6 to get some ideas.